Welcome to Studio Kitchen, Colorado, home of the modern eater. I'm Juan Padro, and I'm sitting in for Greg Hollenbeck while he's on a beach down in Florida doing who knows what. But we're super excited about our show today. We've got an incredible lineup. We have Chef Tajahi Cooke coming in from Miss Betty's, and he's going to do a little bit of Rastafarian food, ital, vegan food. We're going to talk a little bit about his story. Fa'al Ali from ILA Gallery, good friend of mine, doing Black History Month. Amanda Faison, my co-host from Dining Out, former editor of 5280, esteemed food writer.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have you here.
Yes.
So that's amazing. And Adrian Miller, the soul food scholar. Man, his new book, Black Smoke, is all the talk in the food world right now, and he's going to talk a little bit about Black History Month and food, and he's just going to drop some knowledge on us today. And of course, episode 2 of Where Juan Eats, we're pretty excited about that. So, incredible show, really excited. Amanda, welcome. Thanks for co-hosting with me. I needed to bring a big gun in today for all this talent that we have.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, Taj.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, man?
Oh, it's good to be here.
It has been a little while since you and I have been standing in a kitchen together. I think it was probably about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Doing a 5280 spread.
Yeah, when we were still working with Daniel.
That's right. We got to sit down and break bread, and I always love listening to you talk. And of course, we got to sit on some panels and things like that this summer. And it's just always good to be around you, man.
Definitely.
And I'm super proud of what you're doing. So you got a lot of really cool food that you're going to be educating us on today. So is it fair to call this Rastafarian cuisine?
Oh, no, this is Rastafarian cuisine, and you have a Rastaman making that cuisine. So
I love it. I love it.
So this is everything that I grew up with. So the first time I had meat, I was 10 years old, roughly. Before that, we mainly ate everything from the ground, as well as any seafood from the ocean. Straight on a pescatarian diet. We didn't eat red meat. We didn't eat chicken. None of that. Okay. So yeah, this is basically it. This have no animal byproducts in it whatsoever.
And this is called ital.
Ital.
So like from vital, from the ground.
Yes.
Okay.
Key. So ital literally comes from the word vital. It means that everything that is vital and positive for your body, this is what's in this pot. So in Rastafarian culture, ital means vital. Vital comes from the word livity. Livity derives from the word positivity. And when everything that you look that is inside this pot, whether it's a turnip, a carrot, the ginger, the turmeric, the coconut milk, the allspice berries, the combination of all of that, down to even the green banana in its skin that has the iron, which is just a bunch of nutrients. So
aside from being healthy and nutrient rich,
it's delicious.
And you know, I mean, nourishment. Obviously, we talk about that all the time, but it's a spiritual experience for a Rastafarian.
It is.
Eating.
It is. Now, I'm not going to sit here and classify myself as 100% Rastafarian. My father can highly debate that. But I think that as a Rastafarian and a Rastaman, Rastafarian culture is more of a way of life. For Rastas, as you notice, Bob, he just treats people with love. Treat people with positive. He preached positivity. He preached oneness and peace. I think that if the world were to come together and think on this level, we can honestly get to the utopia that we all imagine. You know what I mean? I really think that we can all get to that utopia, that land, you know, of milk and honey that we've all been searching for hundreds of years.
If we could all just, as a diverse world, sit around a table and eat food together.
Exactly.
You know, and I think food is the common thread. And Amanda, you could talk a lot about that. I mean, you've seen all kinds of different cuisines cooked. You've worked with all different types of chefs.
Yeah, the sharing and the gathering. I mean, that's what brings people together.
Right.
And like the most basic level is food.
Right.
Absolutely.
And it's commonality, and that's what we need to continue to find. Yeah, and we're going to be talking a lot about that with, but you know, it's Black History Month. We're super excited about, you know, being able to feature some folks that I think are just incredible talents in Colorado. Taj, you know,
happy to be
talk
here.
To us about this. Talk about this rice, man.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Please.
So this right here is something that my granny used to do for me, and I've never really seen anyone else done it in the culinary world other than myself and from where I come from. This is a burnt thyme basmati rice. So basically is that we're going to cook rice the same way that you do. Water, rice, salt, some fat. Our fat is coconut oil. So there's no animal product in this whatsoever. And then we take thyme and we literally light it on fire with this torch.
Okay.
Light it on fire. What it does, it wakes up a lot of that oil that is within that thyme. And if you use it on fresh thyme rather than dry thyme leaves where it will burn, on that fresh thyme will end up soaking into, it won't light the thyme on fire directly per se, but what it will do is it will start to shrivel up, dehydrate that leaf a little bit. So all that
release
oil,
the oil.
exactly,
Okay.
releases that oil, and then when you put it right on top and just encapsulate it, all that burnt flavor soaks into that rice. All that thyme and that oil, and whatever else, the coconut oil, the garlic, pinch of salt.
Yeah, and you have a whole
whole clove.
head of garlic,
Well,
right?
garlic's key, right?
Yes, and I'm
So,
also
yeah.
a Indian woman's grandson, and so you know.
So I was going to ask about the basmati rice because I don't always see basmati rice in Jamaica or in the Caribbean in general, but occasionally.
Yeah.
It's delicious, and I know we were talking about this with some Asian chefs, and they like a lot of the stickier rice and things like that. And in the Caribbean, the key to good rice is it being fluffy and delicious. But in basmati rice does a good job.
And that's what you see. So one thing within Jamaican culture. So growing up, my mom used to teach me, and my sister used to teach me that I couldn't boil water. Like couldn't even boil water to save my life.
Yeah.
Tell me to boil water, and I'll probably burn the house down. So that was me. So now, being the chef that I am, it blows their mind. They're like, where the hell did this come from?
Yeah.
Like, why didn't you know how to cook when you were 12 and 13? But basmati rice, it has to be shelly. You want to see or Jamaican rice, you want to see each individual grain.
That's right.
By seeing each individual grain, that's how you know you've rinsed your rice properly, you've put the right amount of water in there, and now you can actually enjoy.
Is there butter or oil? You said coconut oil.
Coconut oil.
Okay.
That's the only fat.
Yeah.
So right now, there are no animal fat byproduct in any of this.
So vegan. Completely.
Vegan, ital. Ital food is probably the most aggressive form of vegan cuisine.
Yeah.
Because vegan cuisine, you can do a lot of twists and you can do a lot of turns. The only thing where you can consider this vegan is because we added tofu. If the tofu was not inside of there, any Rastaman will sit down and tell you that is an ital dish.
Okay.
That is a
Without
fact.
the tofu.
So
Without the tofu.
Can you have soy with ital?
That's where the classification,
That's right.
yes.
Okay, yeah.
In some Rastafarian culture, most Rastafarian tribes do not include soy
That's right.
into their diet.
Okay.
Because an abundance of soy can actually affect the body. And that is a fact. An abundance of anything.
Hormones. Yeah.
Exactly,
Yeah.
can affect the body. So that's why Rastas stay away from red meat. And most Rastas do not eat anything that bleeds or died. So all they eat is everything from the ground, because my thing is, as a Rasta, is we're not trying to kill anybody. You get what I mean? There's already enough death and distraught throughout the world. All we're trying to do is live, and live peacefully.
Yeah, and that stress goes into your body.
Exactly.
That's
So
right,
when you
yeah.
put positive things into your body, imagine how you're going to feel.
That's right.
Imagine if you may have had a negative encounter outside. You come home and eat some ital food. Everything inside of there is going to give you that energy. You're probably going to feel a little bit more positive than how you felt before. That is a fact. So Rastafarian cuisine is just more of a way of life. How we live, how we eat, how we breathe, how we walk. Even in my desert Clarks right here. It's a little dirty.
Classics. Not too many people know about these. by
No,
the way.
but these are very
Yeah.
classic. This is more of a Rastafarian Jamaican shoe. We had a man over here that paid a very close eye to it. Not many people know,
That's
but the thing is, you know, I wanted to bring you guys the roots today.
Well, we're really excited, and I'm really excited to see this plated up. So we're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
let your
Yeah.
team do a quick introduction of your team over here.
Please.
For me. Go ahead.
Well, the woman recording, that is my lovely wife. That is Danielle Cook, also owner of Miss Betty's Cooking. And this fine, handsome, tall gentleman over here, his Josh Pendel Ridgway. He is my right hand for the past 5 years.
And they're gonna be plating all this up for us here,
Yes.
and awesome.
Yes.
So while they plate it up, let's talk, because Taj, your background is fascinating to me.
Yeah, super
You know,
interesting.
so we talked about, you know, for a long time we've talked about like the diversity of the Caribbean in general.
Yeah.
And why don't you give us a background of, you know, I mean, you know your roots, and I feel like that influences a lot of the food that you do. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, so I've always been told that if you don't know where you're coming from, you'll never know where you're going. And I've heard that saying as young as I can remember. And the first person I ever heard said that was my grandfather. If you don't know where you're coming from, you'll never know where you're going. And for me, growing up as a kid, especially growing up as a kid in America, I came to America when I was, 11 years old. I grew up in New York, spent 2 years there in Queens. Then I went to California. And then my father was also a tour manager. So my dad tour managed Spearhead before they became Michael Franti and Spearhead. Tour managed Dave Matthews, Ben Harper and Innocent Criminals, Damian Marley, Stephen Marley. He tour managed, we did the Welcome to Jamrock tour, the Distant Relatives tours with Nas and Damian when they came out with that album, Stephen Marley's Mind Control album, Ziggy Marley's Dragonfly album, and so on and so on.
Wow.
And my old man was also one of the first cats to bring the Wu-Tang to the Bay Area when they went gold. Old Dirty Bastard broke the mic, and it was a scuffle, from what I was told. But
music and art and food are all a big part of your background.
And individuals like us, it's just, I've grown up having numerous conversations. So I believe that you have to know where you're coming from. You have to know what you have to say, especially being someone who's put themselves out there with a voice. You know what I mean? And Jamaica is vast. The Caribbean
What's in
culture,
your blood?
Well, my blood is different. It goes with everything that we're going with right now. The whole conversation. I'm complicated, just like this conversation. You get what I mean? I'm a combination of Swedish. My grandfather's mother is an old white woman from Scotland, or from Sweden, if I remember correctly, or from Switzerland. And her husband was a Ghanaian, so that's how they met, and my grandfather came about. And my grandmother's side, her and her family traveled to Jamaica when she was around 13 with her first husband, and my great-great-grandfather was a Hindu priest at the time.
Wow.
So that's one of the reasons why my grandmother...
So many influences
It's a complication. Like, that's why I tell everybody, like, never judge somebody because you never know someone's background. You get what I mean? We're all complicated beings. And with me, I'm just a mutt like everybody else. But the difference is we need to know where we come from. And a lot of the problem with the Caribbean culture is that we never had the books to go back to find out where we come from. So a lot of this has been coming down from ancestors passing it down and family members telling stories. So a lot of the times when you guys hear me talk and just tell stories, these are stories that I have heard. You get what I mean? These are stories that my grandmother and my grandparents told.
You talk about the stories. How much? I know it's tough to put a percentage to it, but how much does food like tell you about your history?
Well, this curry powder, for example. This is over 400 years old.
What?
Yeah?
The recipe for it.
The recipe
Okay.
is over 400 years old, and it's done the exact same way that it was done over 400 years ago.
Within your family?
Within my family, the amount of ingredients, the way that we toast the spice, the difference is we're not crushing it between 2 bricks anymore. We're not crushing it between 2 bricks anymore, but that's basically that. It's an amazing ingredient, and also my dad is still doing some research. He thinks that it's actually over 600 years old.
Wow.
That's incredible.
So, but yeah, it dates back. But yeah, food to me in the African American culture is big. It is big when it comes to our family. It tells where we are from, and it also tells about the way that we were treated and how we had to flip that around into our advantage. Because as Caribbeans and even African Americans, my wife and African Americans in America, the ingredients that we were given weren't the best of ingredients to use. They were the scraps. They were the toss-aways. And the cooks of the family, we had to figure it out. We had to figure out how to look at chitlins and bring everything together. They made a piece of chicken turn into the best piece of fried chicken. Now you know where that comes from. We're the ones who started jerk chicken. For example, jerk chicken, the history of jerk is fascinating.
And it's different on
and it's
most
different.
islands.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? The Jamaican jerk seems to be a lot spicier than if you're in Trinidad or something like that. Where
Exactly. Jamaican jerk is, we use a lot more allspice and Scotch bonnet pepper. In Trinidad, they use a lot more vinegar and brown sugar and a lot more chilies on the back end. So it's not as spicy. The spices are the afternote. Exactly.
Right.
So, but for Jamaican, as for jerk, I wanted to tell a quick story about jerk. Jerk has a vast history. The way that jerk came about was when the Maroons were actually fighting off the British in Jamaica. Nani the Maroon, which is one of our strong heroes, which is the only woman hero out of our 7 heroes that we have on our island, strong woman. She's also the one that created guerrilla warfare, where they dress themselves in camouflage from bushes of scraps from the trees, and then they'll just stand there and a little British man walk past and they get him. That's literally what happened. But the fact of the matter is they'll go off and fight their battles. And while they're fighting their battles, they've already dug a hole, put a nice little coal down in the hole, buried a pig that's been marinating for at least a day, and they'll cover it with all sorts of bushes and banana bushes and trees so the smoke goes sideways. And the smoke doesn't go up and alert your location.
That's really interesting.
You get what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's where jerk came from. So imagine you're in a hole that's 200-300 degrees. After 8 hours, you come back, you have dinner. That's all that it was. So jerk, smoke, barbecue, everything. All of this has an origin.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your jerk spice, because you allowed us to taste it, and
Yes.
it had a ton of allspice.
Yeah.
Tell us about it. It was so good.
Thank you. Well, so that one comes from my mother's mother. So that was more of a maroon jerk spice.
Okay.
So maroon jerk spice, that is literally from the tradition of way back when. All they was they had a bunch of allspice berries because it grew everywhere in an abundance on these trees. They'll also take the allspice tree itself, the wood, and use that as the wood that they light on fire to smoke the meat. So allspice was always the key ingredient. Chilies were always the key ingredient. And any form of garlic, green onions, or onion, they'll mash together, rub down the meat, and then go from there.
So basically, all in a mortar and pestle, essentially.
Basically.
And bang it out. So it's a dry rub
Yeah.
versus, like I said, my best friend is Jamaican.
Yeah.
And his jerk is fermented and wet and,
And it's changed.
It's,
Exactly. And but a lot of that, remember, a lot of the times we never had refrigerators or ice back in the day. So the jerk will actually sit out.
That's right.
You get what
They
I mean?
put it
And-
under their sink.
And that's where the fermentation came in place. So what Juan is talking about, and we were joking about earlier, the Caribbean culture is vast and complicated.
Yeah.
We're a very different breed from the rest of the world, but we have the whole rest of the world within our circle at the same time. It's amazing. Him and I come from the same waters, and you never know.
Yeah. Like I said, we're 20th cousins.
You never know.
Yeah. So
Never
tell
know.
me, I got a question.
Yeah.
My 10-year-old godson, as a black man, what do you tell him? What's your best advice during Black History Month?
Find out who you are and find strength in who you are. Because I remember when I first came to America, as a black man from Jamaica, when I came to America, before I came to America, I was the most excited, energetic child ever. Then when I came to America and everything that we've gone through, that exciting, energetic child went away. And that excited, energetic child became more aggressive
That's right.
along the way. And it's a fact. Middle school, high school, being picked on. I remember this is my second set of dreads. My first set of dreads, I remember they used to tease me saying they're going to turn me upside down and mop the floor. But I was a tiny little piece of turd back then. You know what I mean? So there was no strength.
You
And
ever
then I
see those
started
guys
playing
now?
rugby and a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. It's a little different. But
Yeah.
but the fact of the matter is, as the young kids, these young black boys and black girls out there, they need to just find out that they have the strength and they have the support of the community, and we are just one. In Jamaica, we have a saying, out of many, we're one. Literally, out of many, we're one. That's how we live our life in the Caribbean. Out of many, we are one. And I think that if we were to bring that mindset across the globe and just think that we could be white, black, Asian, doesn't matter where the hell you come from. That's why I love the kitchen, My sous chef. Look at my sous chef. We are total opposites, even in the food that we cook. He's a barbecue god. And he hovers above me, and he's the total opposite of me. But him and I have been cooking together for over, 5 years? He just took a chance and started his own company. And him and I are planning on going even further.
I love it, man.
You know
That's
what I mean?
killer. That is
Yeah.
killer. So,
So,
talk to us about this. Oh, my God.
Oh,
look at
Josh.
Beautiful.
Dude, yes?
this
So,
plating. Incredible.
Gorgeous.
so what we have here is just some ital food. This is strictly Rastaman food right here. This is, they normally call it Bushman food in Jamaica, just to give it an idea. So this is everything that you'll find in the bushes. If you go into the Blue Mountain bushes right now, you will find cauliflower
good.
growing. You'll find green
In the
banana
bushes.
in the bushes.
Yeah.
Cauliflower,
Everything's
wild
overgrown.
broccoli,
It's like,
nothing.
yeah,
Exactly,
so, yeah.
just there. You'll find an almond tree just standing there, and just make sure you stay away from the wasp. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but this is everything. So this is Rastaman. This is what Bob ate. This is what Peter Tosh ate. This is what I eat. This is what my father eats. Now, do I eat this all the time? No. but it's delicious.
Yeah, it smells
it's healthy.
incredible.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean, the smell is unbelievable. So
Yeah.
we've got we've got the rice, we've got curry, we've got some tofu, cauliflower. It
We
looks
have
like we
some
got
green
some green
banana.
onions, red onions. Is that cilantro?
Yeah, some cilantro,
And some green banana.
Yeah,
Yeah,
tell us
and-
about the banana because you were talking to me about that before.
Yeah, so growing up as a kid, when you go to any party anywhere, they'll have manishwata. Manishwata is goat head soup in Jamaica. So they take the head of the goat. You've probably had this. Take the head of the goat and boil it, and you have yellow yam, which is a root vegetable. You have white yam, and you just have all these root vegetables, and then you have green banana. And they normally cut up green banana into tiny little pieces, but then they leave the skin on.
It thickens it up.
Exactly,
Yeah, so-
and it also fills with iron. There were people walking around. That's why in Jamaica you have people living to be 106, 116, 120 years old. My grandmother lived to be 98 years old. My grandfather lived to be 99 years old. You get what I mean? I
Yeah.
think that in the Caribbean, that's why people always wonder, like, why do they live? Usain Bolt runs so fast.
Well, yeah, there's stress, and then there's sustenance.
Exactly.
And there's just living a life of love, too.
And accepting the life that we live.
That's right.
Because that's one of the things about the Caribbean is that we realize we don't have much.
Right.
But we have the land
But you
that
have
we live
everything.
on.
You have love, you have each other, you have friends, you have family. You
There's
have
a
food.
difference.
You know, you have what you need. We talk about like poverty in the U.S. and in our cities versus like in a place like Jamaica or
Yeah.
Puerto Rico. Living on the street in Detroit is a lot different than living in Jamaica, where you can live off the land and you can still cook food and
Yeah.
eat. You have your own struggles, but
Yeah.
food really isn't one of them.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no.
so-
Honestly, I'm going to tell you this. So right now we're about to start building our little retirement in Jamaica. My father's about to finish his house. I'm about to start mine this year. There's going to be a bed and breakfast, so everyone is welcome when it's done next year.
Yay.
And but the best part about the land that we live on is we have everything from a banana tree to a plantain tree. We have 15 different styles of mango. We have over 40
By the way, the
different
best mangoes
pineapple
in the
bushes.
world are in Jamaica.
Oh, dude, you already know.
I love it.
Yo.
I'm telling you, I don't know why.
All day.
You might know why. I don't
Yeah,
know
why?
why.
Do you
But
know
I
why?
literally love the mangoes in Jamaica are unbelievable.
It's the soil. I personally believe in Jamaica, a majority of the soil is red clay.
That's right.
Literally,
Okay.
a
That makes
majority
sense.
of our soil is
Yeah.
red clay. And also, remember, our soil, bauxite,
Yeah.
is what creates aluminum foil. Remember that. So aluminum foil, bauxite is what creates all these things,
Wow.
you know. Yeah, man. So
That's
Jamaican
amazing.
soil is rich. Jamaican soil, you can take any seed from
Yeah.
around the world, go throw it in the ground, and it will grow.
Wow.
That is a fact.
Yeah.
You just have to figure out how to maintain it. But
Right.
it will grow.
Wow.
Yeah, you got a lot
That's
of
all that
outside
it is.
influences. For
So
sure.
yeah, so Jamaica.
this is beautiful.
So yeah, this is all that it is. This is literally everything that you will find in my homeland on this plate. We have a bunch of spoons.
Let's
that-
plate this.
Please, I want you guys to have some fun.
So you use the flame on the when I was watching.
Yes.
And you use the flame on the
us
cauliflower.
what it
If
looks
you were
like.
gonna make it at home, can you just stick it in the oven?
Well,
you
what
don't
I
have
did
to
was
flame it, or
I
do you?
tossed it in the oven first.
Okay.
And it caramelized on the outside and gave you that char that you were looking for, and then really roasted it. But that torch on the outside, for me, I love that additional color.
Oh yeah.
That burnt flavor, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And if you stay farther back away, it doesn't get gassy.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah, little things like
Incredible.
that. So, yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy this. This is our burnt thyme basmati. Very simple. You're going to get a lot of garlic.
This is
You're
my
gonna-
first time having burnt thyme basmati.
Me
How about
too.
you?
It's
Yeah.
not
Okay.
going to be my last though, because I'm going to start doing this. I think.
Oh, yeah, and this is the thing. It's very...
Oh yeah, your daughter.
How many pieces of bananas did you put in here, Josh? Okay. No. You're good. Let's make sure we get this right.
It smells so. Even through the mask, it smells amazing.
Yes, and then it's just really going to come together. So you're going to get literally just a lot of this veggies. You're going to get a lot of all of this beautiful sauce. And then you also basically get that coconut milk. That coconut milk that's just been sitting there. That's really about it. Now, I wish
we all got
had...
that coconut in common in the Caribbean, right?
Yes. Now, you know we put coconut in practically everything.
Here.
All right, now...
Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
Holy
I
cow.
wanted you to try that. Now, in Jamaica, the reason why we serve you a proper plate is because I wanted you to understand and get a feel of how we serve our plate. So that is enough rice,
Thank you.
enough veggies. And in Jamaica, when you eat this, by the end of eating this, you may think that eating vegan, that's always been the biggest complaint.
Right. I don't get
You-
full.
you don't get full.
Right, which isn't true.
No, but when you have enough carrots, you have enough pumpkin, you have enough carrots, you have enough squash and cauliflower in the combination of it all. it's
You'll feel-
amazing.
yeah.
Yes. And that's really all that it is. Just the subtleness
Just
of the combination.
aromatics, the color,
Yeah.
just the love
And
that
why don't
went
we
into
add
this dish is
just a
incredible.
little bit more
We're
onion.
gonna get in on this a little bit here.
And then let's toss in just a pinch more. Now, obviously,
Look at that.
if it was in back of house and we had you guys not here, we'll probably play it 50 more times before we get it right.
Oh, this is perfect.
Of
But I hope
course.
you guys enjoy. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on, man.
Oh.
I'm gonna give you a hug. That is so good.
Oh my gosh. That
Thank
is
you.
amazing.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to
Really,
taste...
and the rice is perfect.
Yeah,
It
man,
is
the
so
rice should
good.
be soft. It should be a sponge, but also holds up on its own. It have to. And everything else, you're going to taste a little sweetness from some honey. You're going to taste heat in the back. That is
The heat
from
is coming now.
It's
exactly.
so good.
Yeah, but that is from a dried Scotch bonnet pepper. So we just take a little bit of that, drop it down. So you're going to taste that heat, but the honey comes in and mellows it out. Then you have the garlic, but that heat is going to keep you going.
I love it.
Exactly. But yeah,
So good.
that's all that it is. But Miss Betty's curry, the only reason normally,
So that's what's being used in here.
exactly, Miss
Okay.
Betty's curry. It's a very simple thing. Very simple thing. Now, the only reason you're tasting that heat is from the Scotch bonnet, from
it's
that little bit of
dried.
habanero, because it's dried.
my
It's
God,
been
so good.
concentrated. And the sweetness from that honey, remember, is what really helps to balance it out. You know? But other than that, this is literally just
And-
ITAL food.
This is incredible. ital food. We learned about Jamaica. We
Yeah,
learned
man.
about an
Yes.
incredible chef here.
Thank you. Thank
Unbelievable. Thank you. We've got to go to break here.
Thank you.
And, you know, we are super excited for the rest of the show. We're going to come in with Fa'al from ILA Gallery. And listen, Friday, we have an incredible Super Bowl show that you got to tune in for. I'm co-hosting with Ryan Harris, Super Bowl champ, voice of Notre Dame football. And we've got Brother Luck coming up.
Oh.
Oh,
And he's
he's
going to
so
be
great.
cooking his wings that he
Yes.
beat Bobby Flay with, his maple wings.
Oh.
So, Taj, I got a feeling you might pop in and maybe grab one of those.
Yeah, I think I have to.
All right.
I think I have to.
Hey, you guys, Jay here with the Modern Eater Show. Thanks for watching. Don't forget about our YouTube and Instagram channels. A lot of killer content over there. Throw us a subscribe on YouTube. Throw us a follow on Instagram. And thank you for supporting TME. We couldn't do this without our amazing sponsors, so let's check them out right now.
Very proud to be part of the Modern Eater, and chefs, restaurant owners, any food service operators. You know, I know right now that delivery and carry out is bigger than ever, and we got you covered. Cambro has a full line of delivery and carry out items. More economical options are expanded polypropylene or EPP, nice insulated container. The ProCard Ultra is really versatile. It's a great unit because you can actually store cold products down here, hot products up here. It's all 120. There's no refrigeration worries. It's all thermodynamics. Just let us know what your food service challenges are, what it is we can do to help you out, and there isn't anything that we can't do for you. So hope to see you over here at our facility in Park Hill soon, and stay safe out there.
You know, everybody, with several $1 million of hard assets here, insurance is very, very important to us. Ewing Levitt covers it all. Machinery, building, workman's comp. Ewing Levitt's got us covered from the floor to the ceiling, from our alley, even to the street. This divider, this press, my cooling conveyor, my oven. Ow, ow. Ewing Levitt covers our counter stacker and our employees too. If you need insurance, take it from Little Rich at Rockalitas. Call Ewing Levitt, they'll get you covered.
I go home, I strip down to my skivvies. All right, here we go. I got it. Hey everybody, Steve Gould from Golden Moon Distillery and Golden Moon Speakeasy. When I get my cocktails to go from Golden Moon Speakeasy, I go home, I kick back, and I watch The Modern Eater. Skivvies. Hey, I'm a Marine. It's skivvies, man.
Welcome back to Studio Kitchen, Colorado, home of the Modern Eater Show. I'm Juan Padro, sitting in for Greg Hollenbeck with my co-host Amanda Faison from DiningOut Magazine. That was pretty awesome.
That was so delicious.
Yeah.
So
We had
delicious.
Chef Taj Cook Miss Betty's. And man, what a great experience and some great stories from this guy.
Absolutely.
So, listen, we've got Fa'al Ali from ILA Gallery.
Hey, how are you?
Right, and this is a really good friend of mine. We've been around, I don't know, we've been around the block a little bit together.
We've been around half a
So,
decade or so.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he's got an incredible gallery. He's got an incredible lineup of young artists that are going to be displaying their art at ILA all month, right?
All month long. Yep, we've got about 7 or 8 artists. We're doing a Black History kind of nod this month, and it's called the Black Vanguard.
Okay.
So we've got people like Johnny Draco here, who's an up-and-coming artist, and he's an amazing work in there. And we've got Thomas Detour Evans, which I'm sure you've seen his stuff all around town. And
famous artist.
Yeah, Narkita Gold. We've got an amazing lineup. So
Yeah.
if you get a chance, come check it out.
Well, you know I'll be there for sure.
Sweet.
So
Tell us where the gallery is.
So it's located at 209 Calumet, Suite
Perfect.
12. So it's technically still in the Santa Fe Arts District. It's just kind of at the far end on the Calumet side. So
Perfect.
do people have to go online and basically like set up a time to kind of walk through the gallery? Because I know it's a relatively small space. So
we've been operating at 50% capacity just because of COVID mandates, which is actually under what we are mandated to do. So we just want to be safe. So we've kind of got a door system going. You can go online to our website, www.ilaartgallery.com, and get your own special time to show up, right? That guarantees you that if there's 50 people in there and you made an appointment, you're going to get priority rather than people who actually just walk in. So
incredible. So what does it mean to you to be able to display your art during Black History Month at a Black-owned art gallery?
I mean, it means a lot, basically. It gives, I guess, the Black youth a chance to... It gives a chance to, really just show our voices and show, a place there where we can be heard. So, yeah.
Do you have a specific style of art that you subscribe to, or like what's your...
What's your
how would I
medium?
recognize you walking down the street?
Honestly, there is no specific style that I specifically have, but I guess you could say it's more abstract with the way I do birds and stuff like that. So
Okay.
yeah.
And painting or sculpture or
It's
a little bit of
honestly
everything.
A little bit of everything. Painting,
Oh,
sculpture,
super cool.
animation, all that stuff. Yeah.
all right.
Fa'al, art, food, music, they all go together.
they all go together.
Yeah.
You
So
know.
talk about how you think about curating an art show and some of the events that you do and some of the things that maybe we've talked about as well.
Yeah.
And because we have this discussion a lot and we think it's important to bring these communities together. Get a chef like Taj.
Oh, yeah.
And bring an artist like Michael and get everybody together to have a good party.
Yeah.
To see just the amount of talent in the room, I feel intimidated sometimes.
I think that, like you said, art, food, culture, they all go together. I feel like a lot of times we come up with our best ideas over a meal, you know? So it starts there. I can't really even begin to start being creative unless I got a good meal on my stomach. So I start there. But it's a pleasure to be able to work within these new, it's kind of a new venture for me, I own a multimedia production company. Art was something that I've always done on the side, but I wanted to create a platform. So when I get to meet people like Johnny and I get his involvement and to hear what he says and what his perspective is of the gallery, one of the things that I hear about it is there's nothing like it in Denver, which, at first I was like, is this a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a great thing.
Yeah, but it's
That's
a great
thing.
thing, and I always take that. I take that approach. So I really just wanted to create a platform of people to be able to be creative, and I wanted to really just flow kind of like water. I don't want to have the kind of traditional what you would see in a gallery. We don't want to be uppity. We want to be inclusive. We want to make sure that it's kind of a grassroots thing here and that people, if you're putting in the work, you can showcase there at ILA.
Is there enough opportunity for young Black artists to display their art in Colorado? Is that something that's a huge gap for us here?
It's a huge gap. Okay. Yeah, I think that, but you can just imagine, because if you look at the numbers as far as the population, there's really not, it's 4% Black folks in Colorado. So there wasn't really a place for black artists to really highlight and showcase their art, and I wanted to make sure that at my gallery that I'm giving equity. You know, it's a black-owned gallery. I want to give equity to my community, but we also want to be inclusive of everybody. You know, so
you have white artists,
yeah,
Latino art, yeah, because we've done a lot of business together.
Yeah, we have.
I've done personal business. I buy art. I actually let him pick it because he knows a lot more than I do.
You got some great pieces, though.
You got some great pieces that I got at LA, and it's incredible. But I've had Latino artists come and do custom artwork in our new bar, Forget Me Not.
Yep.
You guys are part of the Clayton Project. You're really getting out there. I mean, you haven't been around that long, and everybody's talking about you guys.
How long have you been around?
Well,
the gallery.
The gallery, I got the keys to the space January 7th last year.
Okay, oh my gosh, a year.
We haven't even had our grand opening was March 7th, which was 3 days before the mandatory COVID lockdown. So we've been scratching and clawing and pivoting, you know, and luckily the art community has really come through and really shown its support, and the people who support artists have really come through and show support. So I'm proud to say that we've paid artists over $82,000 in the pandemic, you know, for a startup business.
That's incredible.
Which didn't receive any federal grants, funding, PPP loans, or anything. We just did it by, you know, really just kind of being grassroots, and I think that's why people are talking. You know, we're getting.
You guys take care of each other.
Yeah, we do. We're a community, and that's one thing. You know, I want to make sure that my gallery is a safe space for people. It doesn't matter if you're black or Chicano or white or whatever, but if you're an artist and you have a voice and you want to be able to do something cool and innovative, I want to be considered as one of the places that you show at.
Talk to me about this guy.
Johnny's amazing. So we just did some of his prints, and we're going to do some hand embellished prints. And I put them online, and I sent a link, I think. I'm not sure if you guys have it, but there will be a link to Johnny's exclusive prints, and they're amazing. So he did this black fist out of birds, and it's called Higher.
I saw this.
Oh, out of birds?
It's so cool.
Yeah, it's really amazing. So, and I just kind of did a flash online, and we were getting all kinds of inquiries about it, like, is this for sale, is this for sale? So I asked Johnny, I was like, how would you feel about making high-end prints of this? And he was like, you know, this is exactly what we should be doing. And so we're sending him home with some. He's going to hand embellish them. They'll be available for purchase on Friday. So make sure you guys get yours.
Super cool.
Yeah, amazing. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
But I moved out here.
Colorado.
Yeah, how'd you come here?
I originally got a job offer at Kid Robot about 4 years ago.
At what?
Kid Robot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Did
make
some
little
design,
toys.
That's you know, vinyl toys and stuff like that, and then just wanted to do freelance and just moved to Denver from Boulder. You know, that's what I'm doing now.
And how did the two of you guys connect?
I think we met at one of my shows, right?
Yeah, I think it was through Leah, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Her shows.
Yeah, for sure. So, and we just kind of stayed in touch, and I just wanted to give everybody an opportunity, and I just love what he's doing, and the work that he's doing is powerful. It's got a message, and I just want to make sure that the rest of Denver and the world can find a place to find this guy, because you know, his art deserves to be in people's homes, and you know, people will appreciate it once they can get their eyes on it.
Leave us with your message. What is your message? Through your art. Or a message. I'm sure you have many of them.
Community is key.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very similar to what we just heard from Taj.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Food, art, culture, music.
All one.
Bringing it all together. Black History Month.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do some cool stuff at some of your spots this summer too. We're gonna incorporate all of those things. Of course, I'm leaving the food and all that up to you, but I'll bring some music and some art.
Dropping the cat's out of the bag now. So Fa'al announcing that we're working together this summer. Well, we've done a bunch of stuff together. You guys have done a great job. You did 3 murals for us.
Yep.
This summer, you did one that sits at Mr. Rosso on the outside.
Yep.
You did a beautiful mural at Bordeaux.
Yep.
Which is like incredible.
Patrick McGregor and his son Tristan McGregor. They're amazing. Yep.
And then you did the Forget Me Not logo, which is our yet to open cocktail bar in Cherry Creek, and that might be the most photographed wall in Cherry Creek. People just literally come by and stop. And I actually saw somebody, I was there for about an hour the other day. I saw somebody come and take a picture with their iPhone, and I saw them coming back 20 minutes later with a camera and a thing.
Wow.
Setting it up.
That's so cool.
That's a big shout out to Jer. Jer's an amazing artist. He owns Landmark Tattoo in Capitol Hill. So shout out to Jer, and go see him if you guys need to get some tattoos going on.
Great artist, great person.
Yeah. So.
And then Mateo did some custom art for us inside, collage art inside of Forget Me Not.
Yeah.
Which we are like incredibly excited about. Everybody that kind of walks through is like, what is that and where do I get it?
That's
so we're
awesome.
probably going to end up selling that off the wall and getting some new art.
Good.
That's the way we'll
Sell
do
it. That's what I love to hear.
Well, man, I look forward to continuing to work together, and super proud of you. And
thank you, man. I
Can't
appreciate
wait
it.
to see more of your art. It's amazing to have you guys here, and
thank you.
Just such a cool thing, man.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to finally meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Nice to meet you, Johnny.
All right, so we're going to have to take another break here, but before we do, we're going to talk about our show coming up on Monday. I want to let you guys know that Ben Higgins from The Bachelor, one of the most popular bachelors ever, is going to be joining me, and we're going to talk food, and he's an investor in restaurants. He's got 2 in Colorado that he invests in, and he's got his own coffee company, and he's really one of the more amazing philanthropists that I know. He does a lot of really cool stuff, so we're super excited to...
Hey, Juan, Jay over here, you think he can help me with my personal life? You think there's something in there where...
Jay, I'm not quite sure anybody can help you with your
some
personal
tricks
life.
from being on The Bachelor.
You know, he might have one for you. He's a nice guy. He'll take some mercy on you, for sure. So we're super excited about that. And you know, when we come back, Amanda and I are going to talk a little bit about dining out. We're going to talk about what we just heard from Taj and from Fa'al and these amazing guests that we've had. And you know, it's a pretty exciting show with Adrian Miller. Man, I can't even wait for him to come on the show.
Yeah.
And then Where Juan Eats. So we're going to head out to commercial break. This is The Modern Eater.
Hi, I'm Amber with Strohauer Farms, and I'm just here to remind you that the best potatoes are grown here in Colorado. Goodness elevated. Thanks for watching The Modern Eater Show.
Hey, Zach Ryder here, Colorado Mills Sunflower Products out of Lamar, Colorado. Your only local source, grown from a local crop to produce a local oil for local chefs. You can find it at Shamrock Foods, What Chefs Want, Seattle Fish Company. Let me try it one more time, then we'll see. Hey, restaurants, we're glad you're reopening. From Colorado Mills Sunflower Oil, we'll see you soon.
First, we partner with the best farmers in the world, and then we tell them, we will take it all. Process whole spices daily, blend custom spices to order, keep it fresh, safe, and flavorful, all so that you can get back to doing what you do best. So whether you're a restaurant, a food manufacturer, or an at-home cook, be sure to visit The Spice Guy at www.thespiceguyco.com.
Hey Modern Eater fans, I'm Don Trobo with The Annex by Art at Mills, and I just wanted to give you a heads up about some of the great things we've got going on locally in the state. We're headquartered right here, and we're working with farmers in the San Luis Valley to bring you amazing Colorado quinoa. It's just like the South American stuff, but grown locally. We've got transitional wheat flour that's grown by farmers in Colorado and surrounding states who are in the process of turning their fields into organic. So we're taking that transitional wheat and turning it into flour, and now it's available for you to cook and bake with. And last but not least, we're now cleaning grain berries in Denver. So things like spelt or wheat berries or pearl barley, those are things that we're now doing right here locally and are available to you. Can't wait to share it with you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Nations from Aspen Baking Company. It's really important right now to support local. That's why I support The Modern Eater. Now, back to the show.
All right, you guys, back to the show in just a second. All right, you guys, back to the show
don't have
in
to
just a
look
second.
at ourselves,
but
do
before
we?
we do that, I want to talk to you about Jeff Rourke and A+ Beverage Solution. Jay, that's me. Jeff Rourke has been in the business over 20 years. You know what he does? He installs tap lines for your restaurant. Juan Padro has a few of those restaurants, but that's what he does. He's passionate. He's small business. For over 20 years, he installs the custom jobs. If you need a tap line for water, wine, nitro, tea, it doesn't matter. If it's on a tap, he'll put it in. He'll work with the managers. He makes the dreams come true. If you have an idea for your restaurant where you think, I want the taps, but I want them to go around the corner and up a few stairs and over the balcony, and I want it all to look like a dove, Jeff Rourke at A+ Beverage Solutions, he's your guy. He's the one that does does that. If you want to give them a call, it's 720-62, that's my phone number. Gosh, help us all. 720-272-3809. Juan, I'm going to tell you one more time, just in case you're thinking about calling me. Jeff Rourke at A+ Beverage Solutions is 720-272-3809. Greg's turning over in Florida right now. Jeff Rourke, A+ Beverage Solutions. That's where you go to put your taps in. Now, back to Juan Padro and Amanda Faison on the Modern Eater Show.
Welcome back to Studio Kitchen, Colorado, home of the Modern Eater. Juan Padro sitting in for Greg Hollenbeck, and my amazing co-host Amanda Faison from DiningOut Magazine. Jay, I heard you just tried to give your phone number out, and I know you asked for help from Ben Higgins, but I'm going to give you a piece of advice.
You like how I
if
do
you
that?
give your phone number out to 10,000 people watching your podcast, maybe you might get a call back. So maybe you should try to do that.
Listen, some folks
a little bit more.
Some folks are afraid of those stalkers, and that sort of thing. I think that for a guy like me, that's a compliment.
I was going to say.
That just means somebody's paying attention, which I can't argue with.
That's right. Yeah. Perfect. Amanda, what a show so far. We've had Chef Taj Cook, Miss Betty's, just incredible food, incredible history, incredible culture. What's your like takeaway from Jamaican food, Jamaican culture?
Well, I have to say, you started educating me, Taj, a while ago about just the different layers in Jamaican food. We so often hear about jerk chicken. But that's kind of all we hear.
That's right.
And we don't necessarily know the stories behind them. We don't necessarily know, the spice routes that led to this, that, and the other thing, or the cooking techniques or whatever. So just to kind of start understanding the texture and the layers to Jamaican, but then all of these cuisines.
That's right.
I think that, to me, that's the most exciting thing about food in general, is just learning the culture and the history through the stories.
Well, we talked a little bit about it, and, we're celebrating Black History Month and the African diaspora, and we... all the different influences from Africa in all cuisines. And I was thinking about Bardo, our Italian restaurant. You don't think about African influence in Italian food. And I think about all the pastries with pistachio and with almond and just with clove and all these like really cool, just herbs and spices and things like that. And you think about, we talked about arancini, which, is definitely not really Italian.
Which I didn't know until earlier today.
And a lot of people don't think about it, but the modern farming practices that came from Africa to Europe and really affected the rice trade. And so really interesting stuff. And as it made its way over to the Caribbean, we have Puerto Rican cuisine and Dominican cuisine and Cuban cuisine and Jamaican cuisine, and just all over the Caribbean. We have different types of influences from all over Africa, and it's just an incredible thing, and it's coming to America, and we need to talk a little bit more about why the heck there aren't more black restaurants. So, we have Jamaican restaurant, we have an Ethiopian restaurant. It's almost like it's boxed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And there's a larger problem there too, because most people think that African food is Ethiopian food. That's it. That is their understanding of African food. And no.
Right. There's a ton going on.
Many of the same ingredients, but entirely different styles of cooking.
Yeah. Pretty amazing stuff. So it's just something that I hope to continue to learn a lot more about. And, I think maybe Dining Out is a great platform for that. What do you think?
I hope so. So with Dining Out, we've just relaunched it. We've just reimagined it. It was a consumer magazine, very focused on, getting restaurant news out to the consumer. We have completely refabbed it, and a couple months ago relaunched it as a trade magazine. So the idea being the voice of the independent restaurant in Colorado. But having these conversations within the industry, I think is incredibly important, because we need to be paying attention to all of those stories, all those origin stories, but then maximizing that and putting action to those things. And we can do that within a community, and then the consumer comes in. But we need to be kind of figuring all that stuff out at the
We need
root.
a story coming from within to tell the community.
But the doing the research and doing the looking at histories, looking at cultures, and kind of figuring out how to filter out those stories in a really, I hate to use the word authentic because it can get you in trouble, but that authentic way.
Well, authenticity in terms of like intent.
Yeah, exactly. Thoughtfulness. Yes.
And I think that's super, super, super important. And I look at it also from a business perspective. And you guys had asked me to write an editorial, is that what I call it?
Op-ed.
An
Yep.
op-ed?
Yep.
Okay, I don't know all the technical terms.
That's
but,
okay.
my big thing is the seat at the table. And,
Yeah.
I think it's, everybody's stronger, when we're together and we have diversity and we have great ideas and you get all these, killer art comes from that, killer music comes from that, killer food comes from that.
Killer everything.
That's right.
Collaboration.
Yeah. We talked about the gene pool. Your gene pool is stronger when it's mixed. You know what I'm saying? That's the same with everything else in life. And if we don't have great ideas coming from different perspectives, we're never really going to be great at anything.
No.
So if you
We're going to be boring.
That's right. If you have 8 white guys sitting around a table telling everybody what diversity is, that's not really the solution to the problem, right? So more of these conversations really need to be happening. I'm excited to be able to talk to some of the folks that we've been able to talk to today.
Me too.
And tell us what to expect from Adrian.
Adrian is awesome.
Okay.
So Adrian is a food historian. He's an author. His book Soul Food won a James Beard Award several years ago, probably 6-7 years ago, and that looked at really and truly the origins of soul food and how they've been in many ways overlooked. But the stories that truly the people that truly made kind of soul food what it is today.
Got it.
And then he's since had he has a new book coming out called Black Smoke. It comes out in April. I think it's late April. We'll have to ask him. But it's already getting a lot of play in the food world. It's the origins of barbecue. It's looking at, again, the real stories, the real history. I can't wait to read it. I haven't seen a review copy yet, but I can't wait. And it has one of the coolest covers.
The covers.
The cover is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so,
Adrian
and he's
is
a Denver
awesome.
local.
He's a Denver local.
Yeah. And this is pretty incredible.
He has taught me everything I know about barbecue.
Tell
which
me
is
that
limited,
story. Because, tell everybody that story because you told me this at lunch.
Yeah.
And this is an amazing commitment that this guy kind of made to you, and vice versa.
Well, it was. I wish I could remember how we agreed to this arrangement or whatever you want to call it, but I didn't know a whole lot about barbecue, and Adrian did and does and continues to travel the country and. I don't know, maybe the world. We'll have to ask him that to learn about barbecue. But in the meantime, he was writing his proposal and beginning to write soul food. And the idea was kind of germinating. And I was at 5280 at that time. And so I kind of worked with him on writing. He worked with me on barbecue. We'd go to all these Denver barbecue restaurants. He would literally teach me, sit down and say, see this? This is a smoke ring. See this? You don't want that. You do want that. And then we would talk writing. And so it was super beneficial for both of us.
But this was over a year period of time.
It was months. I mean, a year, 9 months, give or take. Yeah. It was really great. And it began the friendship that Adrian and I, that was 10. Actually, that was probably 15 years ago.
He's also a judge. I read he's a barbecue judge as well.
Adrian's the coolest. He's the coolest guy.
Yeah? Good, he's watching you right now.
Oh, hi!
Hey, I like that, bro.
Yeah, pretty good. Adrian's a cool guy. Welcome, Adrian Miller, man. Super excited to have you.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, so we got an incredible introduction. I don't know if you heard the whole thing, but Amanda kind of gave our audience a background of who you were and your books and all the great things that you've been doing and the relationship that you guys have and the time that you spent and that you taught her about barbecue.
Everything I know, Adrian, is because of you.
Yeah. So what does the relationship with Amanda mean to you?
Oh, God.
It means the world to me. So she gave me kind of my first opportunities with food writing. So that ABCs of BBQ that you let me write, I think it was in 2006, was huge for me.
That sounds about right. Yeah. So it was mutually beneficial.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, Juan, before we get too deep with Adrian, let's take a quick break, and we'll come right back to him and get into
Adrian, we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back and talk about your book, and we're gonna talk a little bit about your background. And I'm just really excited to get to know you a little bit more and some of your thoughts on Black History Month and the importance of that. So we're gonna take a break here from Studio Kitchen, Colorado. I am Juan Padro, hosting for Greg Hollenbeck at the Modern Eater. We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Alex Armitage over at Sam's No. 3 Glendale. You want a Bloody Mary? You want a cheeseburger? You want a breakfast burrito? Greek salad? Bacon gyro meat? Chicken souvlaki? Barbecue ranch salad? We got you covered. Come down and see us. One more time. Try it again. Hey guys, Alex Armitage over here at Sam's No. 3 Glendale. Now get your ass to themoderneater.com. Thank you so much.
We started Meridium Spirits because we love the way that spirits and cocktails can bring people together to socialize, to bond, to have conversations. Well, right now we've got some big conversations to have. Coop Vodka and Coop Gin are available at liquor stores across the metro area, but if you can't find us or would like to have us behind your bar or at your restaurant, send us an email, info@meridiumspirits.com. We know things are a little different these days, but think of us the next time you're planning a virtual happy hour or a socially distant picnic. And keep an eye on our social media, Coop by Meridium, for all the latest and greatest.
Hey guys, it's Caroline Glover. I'm the chef owner of Annette out at Stanley Marketplace. Citrus is about to be in its prime. I just want to thank everybody for showing so much support to small local restaurants in this really hard time. And you're watching the Modern Eater Show. I'm fine with that.
All right, back to the show in just a second, and we're going to catch up with Adrian Miller. No big deal, but James Beard award-winning author. Before we do that, I want to talk to you about Emily Griffith and the Culinary Quick Start program. It's a 3-week program. It's free to do. They teach you the basics. If you want to learn your way around a kitchen, if you haven't done it before or if you're just interested in doing it, Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start. Go to themoderneater.com. There's an Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start tab. Juan Padro, who is hosting the show today. Juan, let me just ask you a question as we talk about chefs. You're a restaurateur. You have multiple locations. You have multiple employees. What does it mean to you knowing somebody that goes through that course? Mm-hmm. So you at least, when you know you're onboarding them, it's like, okay, they should have, I feel good that they know the basics and I've seen the course because you've seen it, what we do.
Yeah, we're actually interviewing some kids from Emily Griffith right now. We've got 14 stores. And staffing's a challenge, and the kids that go through that program, they train under Chef Blake Stein, who's really technically a very good chef, and teaches them the knife skills that they need and the technique that they need. Just gives them the basics. Mm-hmm. You're going to learn a lot more when you're in the kitchen under pressure and things like that. But if you have the basics and you have the passion, you're going to be able to make it if you listen and if you get aligned with a really good chef that wants to mentor you. And that's all part of the solution together. So going through that program, I think is super valuable for young chefs.
Love it. I love it. It's the Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start, you guys. Again, go to themoderneater.com, click on the Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start program. It'll sign you up. It's free. That's the best part, is it's free. It's a no-brainer. So if you're looking for a job in the culinary world, Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start's where you go. Now, I'm dying for this. Let's catch up with Mr. Adrian Miller on the Modern Eater Show.
Awesome. Welcome back to Studio Kitchen, Colorado, home of the Modern Eater. Juan Padro sitting in for Greg Hollenbeck. As we know, he's sitting on a beach somewhere in Florida. We are not, but we do have a pretty nice day today. And he
Beautiful.
Is definitely not as lucky as us because we have James Beard, award-winning chef, soul food scholar, Adrian Miller in the house. So awesome. I'm going to ask you a broad question that I think you could probably talk about for the next 3 hours. But what does the food that you write about tell us about Black history and culture?
Just a small question.
Yes, a small question. I'll keep it tight so we can get to some. So I like to write about soul food, and more generally, I say I write about the African heritage cuisines in the Americas. And what I mean by that is, what are the foods that mostly enslaved Africans brought to this part of the world? And so soul food is just one part of that story. Often it gets to be the shorthand for all Black cooking, but it's just one part because I think soul food is different from Southern food, Creole food of New Orleans, the Low Country, all of these cuisines, barbecue, all of these things that have been affected by and influenced by African Americans. So I say soul food is the bringing together of the culinary ingredients, technique, and traditions of West Africa, Western Europe, and the Americas. All comes together in the American South. And then Black migrants take that food to other parts of the country and really influence the American food story.
When I think about it, I think about the food coming from the South up to Chicago, kind of first of all. Can you talk about that journey?
Yeah, so that's often called the Great Migration. So it's early 1900s, really until the 1970s, millions of African Americans left the American South for opportunities in other parts of the country. Mm-hmm. And they did what any other migrant group does, right? You get to the new place, you try to recreate home, and if you can do it with the exact same ingredients and things that you had back in the old country, quote unquote, you do it. But sometimes you have to substitute because you can't get the same stuff. And then you're looking around at your neighbors and you're getting inspired and you're borrowing, you're seeing something, you're trying it yourself. And so a new kind of cuisine emerges from that. And so Chicago is a classic example of that. I mean, I've been to restaurants in Chicago, sat down, looked at a plate, and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm in Mississippi.
Wow.
Just in the way that it was cooked and the way it was presented.
Really interesting. Really interesting.
So tell us about your new book. We know it doesn't come out till late April, but still, tell us about it because it sounds like it's already kind of starting to circulate and you're starting to get some really good feedback, really good reviews.
Yeah, so my next book is called Black Smoke, African Americans and the United States of Barbecue. And the reason why I wrote this book is just frankly, I was just tired of white dudes getting all the credit when it came to barbecue. And so, I wanted to restore the narrative that puts African Americans at the center. Because barbecue, as we understand it, is Native American in origin. But for 200 years, African Americans became the standard bearers for excellence in barbecue. And it was that way until the late 90s when you saw a marked shift in kind of food media. When they started talking about barbecue, they kind of told African Americans, hey, we're just not that into you. And so I'm just trying to correct the record and say, no, if you're going to talk about barbecue in the United States, you got to include African Americans.
Yeah, and barbecue is like just incredibly popular. I go to these barbecue festivals and competitions all around the country, and everywhere you go. I mean, the tickets are extremely expensive. There's lines out, down the street to get in. How do we continue, like as a white restaurateur, right? How do I continue to promote African Americans in barbecue? Like, what's the best path for me to take? Is it inviting people into my kitchen to do events? Is it continuing to partner with you on things? How do I do my part? Because I think it's an important part. We don't want our history rewritten, and we don't want, because it's a false narrative. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's really, really, really important that we're lifting one another up in our industry.
So the fact that that's even forefront in your mind, Chef, is huge. Because a lot of this is going to be just a change in mindset. And so, I think it's partnering, bringing in guest chefs, maybe even for a day to curate a meal, have them come out and just talk about that barbecue item, what it means to their culture. And ultimately when the food is made, just making sure it's made well, so you honor that tradition.
Yeah.
And, just continue to seek opportunities to just put these stories out in front of people. Because I believe the big challenge we have is we just don't know each other's stories. And what is an easier way to connect and learn something about another person and their culture than sitting down and eating their food?
Exactly.
Especially with people from that culture.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about this at lunch, and we talked about it right before you got on the show. And you kind of alluded to it because with some of the comments you made. Why aren't there more just like black restaurants, like generally black restaurants, as opposed to, Amanda was saying, if you think of
why does that have to be called soul food?
Yeah. Right. Or you think of an African restaurant, you think of Ethiopian food, or and you don't really it's just such a wide variety, and it's impacted so many other cuisines. Why isn't there more of that?
So I think the real problem, the real struggle is just African and black entrepreneurs just don't get the same access to capital to start a restaurant. So that's the biggest challenge right now.
Okay.
And so, if they do have a little money, they're usually getting a restaurant that's kind of run down, a poor physical plant. And so, it just takes a lot more to run that restaurant. More people are doing food trucks. And when it comes to barbecue, that's why you got the brother or the sister on the side of the road with the improv grill setup, because they're just not getting the same opportunities to be financed to start these businesses. So that's one thing. I think the second thing is generally African heritage cuisines are still relatively unknown in this country. And so the barrier of getting someone to try that food is something that needs to be bridged first. And then, there's a lot of negativity around these cuisines. Like the negativity around soul food is pretty constant because it's either called slave food, poverty food, or, the food that white people didn't want to eat. And it's also called unhealthy. But when you go back and look at the history of this cuisine, those myths really fall away very quickly. Soul food is enjoyed by so many different people. And if you listen to what nutritionists are telling us to eat, more dark leafy greens, sweet potatoes, okra, hibiscus, more fish, those are the building blocks of soul food.
Plus, it's delicious. Delicious.
Yes.
So.
You've got one thing to say to a young aspiring black chef. What is it?
Oh, wow. I would say love your food. There's so much pressure in this society to not love African expressions of food and cuisine. And I think, first of all, cook whatever you want, but just fall in love with your own food, your own traditions, and make it part of your repertoire. I mean, you never hear a French chef say, don't associate me with rural, rustic French cooking, right? Yeah. They make it part of their repertoire, whatever they're cooking. I just want the same for African American chefs. Be a sushi chef, but then, know how to throw down on some of this stuff, the greens and the black eyed peas.
Right.
Doesn't detract from your culinary expertise or your reputation.
Yeah, and I think as Americans, just generally speaking, in our industry, in hospitality, we have an obligation and we have a responsibility to get this message out a little bit. So, your book is highly anticipated. I don't know if it ended up at the Aspen Institute or somebody was talking about it. My brother works there. He said he had heard a conversation about it. So, man, you're everywhere. Incredible to have you on the show. We're so grateful. And thanks for all you do for the community. And I look forward to, getting to know you a little bit better. And maybe, we can, when all this COVID stuff is done, we can get together, we can get Taj together, we can get some other young black chefs together, and we can throw down. And then we can start educating some people. I'm down for that. You have my spaces, you have my support. I think Dining Out will cover it.
I think we'll cover it. And I would like to say, I hope people read Soul Food, and then I hope that they read Black Smoke. Because even not reading Black Smoke yet, I have a sense that the two kind of work together to tell a larger tale that we all need to know.
Yep.
So hopefully I just promoted that right, because I don't know that.
Was that promoted right?
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Miller, it's Jay Parker here. You can't see me, or maybe you can on the Zoom. I had a quick question for you, if you'll indulge me. So after Black Smoke comes out and it's wildly successful and we all buy it and read it, what's next? Are you working on anything right now that that's exciting that you can tell us a little bit about? You can't tell us everything because you don't know. And then the two-part question is what's your dream as far as if somebody just gave you $1 trillion, what would you do with it in that sense of Black History Month, and how would you use that resource?
Yeah, so I got a few things cooking. So one thing is, in this moment when we seem so divided, I've been thinking about how can I bring my talents to bear to bring us together. So I've been thinking about this concept that I call a welcome table. And the idea is that you sit down with somebody you don't know or with whom you disagree, and you just get to know each other over some good food, start building connection through that food, and then eventually, after you build relationship, get to the point where you can talk about that difficult stuff. And that could be a one-on-one conversation, but I'm thinking about small groups.
I love that.
So yeah, I'm working on a food-based dining guide to difficult conversations.
I think that's really cool. Adrian, real quick, I'm going to cut you off. I have a group of guys that we get together, and it's a friend of mine who's white from Indiana, and it's a friend of mine from the Delta, a Jamaican immigrant who happens to be my best friend, a friend of mine who came from Detroit, in the ghetto in Detroit, and came out, and we have these groups that we get together and we talk about this stuff. Will you join us on one of those?
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, I want to interview about that because that could be part of the book, right? Because I think people are going to... what I'm finding is people need examples and just practical instruction on how to do this. Because it's not the easiest thing to do. You would think it is, but it's not the easiest.
So we set our first one, I remember, we set it up for 90 minutes. We were there for 6 hours.
Wow.
6 hours. And we actually did it at Bardot. We did it in my office. We turned it into a big round table. And the experiences of a young guy from the Delta in Mississippi getting a full football scholarship to the University of North Carolina, right, and walking on that campus for the first time. Or Charles Johnson, who you probably know. So CJ was part of that group, and he came, and he runs culture and inclusivity for Ball Corp. And he came from Detroit, and came to Colorado, or Rupert English, who's my best friend, who came from Jamaica, went to Boston College. All these kind of like crazy experiences. And I consider myself a pretty educated guy, and my best friend of 30 years is in this thing, and I'm like, I'm learning about him, and we don't ask enough questions. We just don't ask. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
So bring extra batteries for your either phone or whatever you're going to be recording for that interview, because it might be 6 hours long.
Well, there's a lot of food in there too, a ton of food.
Good, there should be.
That even makes it better.
We have a young black sous chef at Bardot named Reggie Dotson. You should come in and meet him. He's incredible. He's probably next in line to get his own restaurant in our group.
Okay, cool.
So he's really great.
And I'm thinking about writing a book on the history of African Americans in Colorado, because we've had some next level African Americans here since the mid 1800s doing incredible things that I don't think their stories have been told. And then I also am thinking about writing a book on the history of African American street vendors, because in the 1700s and 1800s, they were basically the food trucks of today and very important in shaping the food scenes of some of our iconic cities like New Orleans, Charleston, Philadelphia, and New York. If I had $1 trillion, I probably would have my own show, and it would definitely be an exploration of just African heritage cuisines in the United States, but it would be something where I'm not just going and eating some food and saying, oh, that tastes good, but doing that, but also putting the food in social context. So looking at restaurant culture, home cooks, and getting a sense for why does this food develop in this place, and what connects it, and what story does that tell for people that connects to people around the world, the broader humanity. So I'm thinking about those things.
That's incredible.
So many things.
Jay,
I'm
what
so
do you
excited.
think?
Man,
You're going to offer free production services to Adrian, I hear.
Have you, Mr. Miller, have you had Chef Taj, his food? Have you eaten?
Oh, yeah. So he did a pop-up series at Bruto, I want to say in September. And so, I don't get a chance to eat a lot of vegan food, but that was some next level stuff. So this may sound disgusting to some of the people watching this, but he put his foot in it. And that's one of the highest compliments you can give to a chef. So.
Well, hold on. Somebody's got to explain that real quick. Who put whose food?
Well,
who
it was
put
more
whose
of
food
like
in what?
the right and left foot in it. No. Thank you for that, Adrian. I think that's the first time I've ever mentioned your name in public to other people other than the individuals in this room for the second time. But I appreciate it. We just wanted to share a part of where we came from. Ital cuisine was just, as I said, is the most aggressive form of vegan cuisine. It's the basis of all Rastafarian cuisine, and you know that better than anybody, I should say. You know what I mean? It's just, I think educating people on where we come from, educating people on the ingredients that we were given and how we used it to the benefit that helped us in the end for us to be here is the most important thing. And you right now, you are the pillar within our community that's bringing that voice across. That's why you had to be at that dinner.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing your wife back the second time. So I appreciate that.
Oh, not my wife. Don't give me that promotion, but I appreciate it.
Thank you. I don't mean to get you in trouble, Adrian. But no, it was amazing. It was amazing. And honestly, what we did today was very similar to that curry mango that you had as well.
Okay.
Very, very similar. The same aged curry and just a lot of stories behind it, brother.
Yeah, and it's a story of resiliency under the most horrific conditions. It's a story of ingenuity, how these cooks came together, and then ultimately it's a story of triumph, because all that was thrown at us, we're still here, and we're thriving, and we're moving forward. So food tells that story.
No, in Jamaica we have a saying, "Walika but watalawa." You know what I mean? It means we're small but we're mighty. And it doesn't matter. I think whenever we come together, we really show our strength. And in our food, that is the backbone of who we are. I really believe that. So yeah.
Word.
Yeah, you already know what it is. The man I share a name with.
Well, what an incredible day. Taj, thanks so much for coming, man.
Thank you.
Amanda, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Adrian, congratulations to everybody on all their success. And congratulations, Black Smoke, everybody, from James Baird award-winning author Adrian Miller, who's from here in Denver, Colorado, which is amazing. So one of the true gems of Colorado. So, man, I am just blessed to be able to host this show today.
It was a good day. And it's good to see your face. It's him and I share the same name. Today it was meant to be.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, and dude, congratulations, brother. I can't wait to get my hands on it. And you already know you need to put your name, my name in the middle of it. So so I'm excited.
You know what? I'm happy to autograph it and say I couldn't have done it without you. So.
There you go.
Take that.
Oh,
that might be worth something.
It's also the coolest cover. The cover is
seriously,
beautiful.
Dude, it is
yay.
ill.
Hold it up,
bro.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That is super cool.
So
Love
my
it.
sous chef, he just started his own barbecue company. So I can't wait to get him this book, Adrian.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let me know. I got to try that food. So, yeah.
Smoke and roll barbecue, man. Wait until it gets rolling. I'll invite you over.
Okay, cool. Bet.
Yeah.
All right.
We have our first pop-up over at Angela Neri on St. Patty's Day, so you have to be there.
Okay, I'm going to put it on my calendar.
Please do. Please do.
All right.
Awesome.
Oh, you know what? I might be overseas because I'm getting more invitations to go and spread the gospel of soul food and barbecue overseas. So, depending on the COVID situation, I might be gone. That's the only reason why I won't be there.
You know what? We have many more coming up, man. Valentine's Day at Pony Up, and you already know me. I already just have something going on. But you, congrats. You're doing a hell of a job, and thank you for doing the work that you're doing.
All right. Thanks for blessing me with that. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We agree.
All right, so we've got one more episode of Where Juan Eats coming up after our commercial break. Adrian Miller, again, thank you so much. Taj Cook, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Amanda Faison, couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Thank you, Juan.
You're amazing. Jay Parker.
Yeah.
It's time to go to break, man, and come back with Where Juan Eats.
Hey.
Awesome.
What's going on, everybody? This is Brother Luck from Lucky Dumpling, 4x Brother Luck in Colorado Springs, and I am rocking with the Modern Eater. You're watching them, you're tasting them, you're knowing everything there is to know about Colorado.
Hi, Charlie from Brews Beers here. Our new Belgian Abbey 4-pack is a mixed package of the 4 core beers made in Abbey and Trappist breweries in Belgium. So we have a single, a double, a triple, and a quadruple in one package. Now, quadruples are the emperors of Belgian monastery ales. They're dark in color, with a dense tan head, and alcohol ranging from 8 to 12%, so they're pretty strong. Quadruples are very rich and complex with big maltiness, spice, and flavors of raisins, cherries, and plums. Alcohol is apparent in the mouthfeel, but not overwhelming, even at 10.5% ABV. So the finish is long, complex, and dry, and they're great beers anytime, by themselves or with hearty foods. Pick up your Abbey 4-pack at either Brews location, 67th and Pecos, or at Colfax in York, and at fine liquor stores throughout the Denver metro area. Take home some Belgian-style badassery.
Studio Kitchen Colorado also houses Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start in the evenings, Monday through Thursdays. It's a 3-week course. It's a gimme. It's free to you. Whether you're a home cook, you want to get into the business, or you just want to sharpen your skills, Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start is for you. After the segment that we play for you from Proud Souls, we're going to jump to another segment that was pasta making right in this kitchen last night. Making education cool again. That's what we're doing. And people, I'll tell you what. If you like to watch people cook food and you like to participate and you want to be involved in community, food, and the efforts that takes place right here at Studio Kitchen Colorado, go to the Modern Eater website, themoderneater.com. Click on the Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start. What you will see there are 2 things. A way to sign up if you want to be a student, and a way to grab students for your kitchen if you are a restaurateur, a manager, what have you. If you're in the business or you want to be in the business, this is for you. Emily Griffith Culinary Quick Start.
Hi.
Back to the show.
This is for the outtake version.
What's up, Denver?
I'm Chef Natasha Hess, and this is Chef Carrie Baird, and we are at the Ginger Pig.
Check us out, gingerpig.com. You can also see us on the moderneater.com. Thanks, everybody. It's cornstarch.
I know. It's cool.
Welcome back to Studio Kitchen Colorado, home of the Modern Eater. I'm Juan Padro, sitting in for Greg Hollenbeck while he's kicking it in Florida with his dad. I hope he's having a great time, but I'm having a better time. I've got co-host Amanda Faison here from Dining Out.
I'm better than Florida.
You're way better than Florida.
Way better.
So I get so blessed to have you here. What an exciting show we just had. Just to recap, we had Chef Taj Cook in from Miss Betty's, and he's got a really cool pop-up going to happen at Pony Up on Valentine's Day, and this is one of the busiest guys around, so he's doing all these kind of cool pop-ups. So make sure you get out there, find him, look at what he's doing. He's cooking some incredible Caribbean soul food, really. Jamaican food is really his bread and butter, but just a lot of really great stuff. Fa'al Ali from ILA Gallery, who he's been in media for a long time, but he started an art gallery and he promotes artists of all colors. But this is Black History Month, and he's got an incredible curated program with young black artists ILA Gallery is down on South Klamath. I can't remember the exact address. Do you remember?
I want to say it's like 209, but don't take.
It's around
there's a 9 in it.
Klamath. It's
Yeah.
ILA, ILA Gallery, Fa'al Ali. Make sure you follow them out on social media. Some of the best art I have seen in Colorado, really anywhere. I've bought a fair amount of it, so I'm a huge fan. So I've put my money where my mouth is, for sure. We had Adrian Miller, the soul food scholar, talking about his new book, Black Smoke, talking a little bit about Black history. This is Black History Month, and this was an incredibly important show for us to do. I'm just really, really, really blessed to have been out here today. So I'm looking forward to Where Juan Eats. It's my second episode of that. We're actually going to go off and to the Mango House, which is up on Galena in Colfax, Amanda, and it's a refugee center. And it's got 5 food stalls. It's got anything from Sudanese food to East African food to Lebanese food, Syrian food, and Burmese food. And I met a young guy named Siri who emigrated from Burma to Thailand and then to America. And he's got a place called Urban Burma. And I got to tell you, one of my 5 favorite places to eat last year. Period.
Amazing.
Anywhere I went.
Amazing. And Siri Tan is incredible.
Yeah. So let's get after it. Jay, what do you think?
Yeah, well, you had a fun guest too that you because you don't want to just go out to lunch with me, but going out to lunch with the Swirl Girls is a lot different. That makes it a lot better.
You know, I could talk about her for an entire hour because she's intelligent. She's beautiful. She knows food. Her palate's way better than mine.
Who is she? Because I know her as
Kendra
the Swirl
Anderson
Girl. Yeah, that's
is
right.
Swirl Girl.
That's
And
right.
she had Bar Helix for a long time, and she's one of my best friends in the world. Just somebody I have a ton of respect for. So Kendra and I went out and we had lunch at Urban Burma, and Jay got an opportunity to kind of record that, and just she doesn't get out of Denver very much. Mm-hmm. She likes to stay downtown. So, we got her in the car. She drove well beyond her comfort zone, and she is adamant that she will be going back. So if you don't believe me, that's okay. Kendra Anderson is on this show as well, or in this segment as well. And if you don't believe Kendra, then you just are a hater and can't believe anybody.
Yeah, too bad for you, basically.
All right, Where Juan Eats. Hey, you guys, Juan Padro here at the Mango House in Aurora, Colorado with my good friend Kendra Anderson, and this is Where Juan Eats.
Hi, Juan.
Hey, Siri, how are you,
Good to
man?
see you.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, this is for
What do
you.
we got?
So we got the green tea leaf salad.
Okay.
And then this is shan noodle.
Wow. Look at that.
Pork.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at these colors
I would
on both of this.
take this, and then
Thanks, Siri.
one more dish coming.
Oh, we got another dish coming?
Coconut and chickpea broth. We call Ono Kosue.
Okay. All right, this is Where Juan Eats. We're at the Mango House here in Aurora, Colorado, with Kendra Anderson is coming here as one of my favorite lunch dates ever, and with my good friend Siri, who happens to be from Burma, and he brought Burmese food to Colorado, and Urban Burma is a pretty amazing place. So I do want to talk about the food, Siri, but tell us how the heck you got here, man.
So I got here from Thailand in 2014.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I'm originally from Burma. I grew up in Burma.
So you emigrated to Bangkok?
Yes.
Emigrated to Bangkok. Okay.
Not Mesa. Chiang Mai.
Chiang Mai. Okay,
Chiang Mai.
great.
And then, yeah, so I got here in 2014 and worked with the nonprofit organization, which is helping refugees who live in Denver, and I worked there for 5 years.
Really?
And then I've been noticed like we need Burmese food. We need more, basically like more,
all the ethnic food. Really.
All the ethnic, yeah, but basically Asian food, right? Yeah. Like I've been to California. There are a lot of different Asian food, authentic, and so when So when I've been in Denver, I like pho, but I can't eat every day. I can't eat every week. So I like more, options. And then I noticed there's no Burmese. So I really wanted to. That made me,
And that's where you're from, and you miss that. I'm sure, like,
Yeah.
there's like some nostalgia, and like you miss home maybe a little bit, and this is the food that you grew up with.
Mhm.
Yeah. Tell
So-
us about this stuff. All right, what do we got? We got 3 dishes here.
So this is called shan noodle. So one of the state that I grew up. So it's an ethnic. Shan is one of the ethnic from Burma.
Okay.
So
Ethnicities, okay.
yeah, ethnic city. So I also grew up in Shan State, and I would say
Where is that in Burma?
it was in north. Oh wait, east.
East.
Sorry.
Okay.
So east of Burma, and they have the most delicious food. So
Okay.
Shan peoples make one of, I would say, the most delicious food.
Tell us about the noodle. Is it an egg noodle, a rice noodle?
It's a rice noodle.
Okay.
And then it's a fermented green mustard, and then fermented soybeans with fresh
Scallion?
green onion, and then we use sesame seeds and then chicken, with the bean, flat bean leaf, with the chicken broth.
So some really interesting ingredients,
Yeah.
Kendra. We don't really get to see that very often.
No, I feel
Yeah.
like there's not nearly enough fermented foods or pickled foods or anything like that in
Yeah.
the typical cuisine you'd
Is
find
that
here.
normal across Burma, the amount of fermented food? Do you use a lot of fermented foods?
Some, but not like Korean. Korean eat more fermented,
Right.
but we also eat fermented
Okay.
stuff like tea leaf salad. You know, tea leaf is a fermented tea leaf. You have to ferment it. That's make the most delicious and unique flavor of the tea leaf salad.
Okay.
Tea leaf salad is the whole Burmese national dish.
This is the
Oh, wow.
national dish of Burma.
Yes.
Salad, that's incredible.
Okay. So tell me, how did that become? How did that become the national dish? Is that
Because Shan noodle is specifically for the Shan ethnic city, and the tea leaves is for like Burmese, Shan. Everybody eat tea leaf salad.
okay?
Is it because it's very like common ingredients?
Yes.
Or okay.
And then also the tea leaf is the best tea leaf, fermented tea leaf come from Shan State.
Oh, is that
because
right?
of the elevation, and because that's why the tea leaf grow. The best tea leaf you can get it's from Shan State.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is cool.
I don't
What
know
it-
if I've even heard of a dish that worked with tea leaves in it instead of
Yeah.
a beverage, right? More
Yeah.
a savory dish. I don't think I've ever had that.
Yeah, that's why it's unique.
Yeah.
And you can only get it at Burmese restaurants. I always joke to customers, if Thai people, other Asian people put it into their menu, we can sue them. Because it's only Burmese,
Sounds good. Okay, we have a third dish right here. Tell us about this.
So Ono Kosue is based on the coconut cream or milk, and then chickpea broth.
Okay.
It's a.
It looks thick.
Yeah, it's.
So is it a chickpea puree?
Yes.
Okay, so chickpea puree with coconut.
Yeah.
Okay. And, it
And
looks-
then you do chicken, the boiled egg. This is Burmese traditional dish.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is
Okay.
Burmese traditional.
And what are these yummy looking garnishes?
Those are. It's a noodle,
Okay.
but we fry it, so it make you crunchy.
Oh.
Crunchy now when you.
Still rice noodle based? Rice?
Yes, rice.
Okay.
It's rice, and it's gluten free. Yeah, it's gluten free. Yeah.
Vegan, gluten-free.
Vegan, gluten free.
So I noticed on your menu, you say that most of your dishes can be made gluten-free and dairy-free?
Yes.
Okay, so that's pretty amazing. So generally speaking, Burmese food you consider to be pretty healthy cuisine?
It's a newer generation, yes. So our newer generation eat like healthier. Like I would say the curry dishes used to be very, very oily. Used to be. And then, the newer generation noticed that too much oil is not healthy for you. So nowadays, like people eat more, like less oil.
Is it because people went to other Asian countries and came back with that knowledge, or like how did that kind of evolve, or just did the internet help with that, or like?
Oh yeah, all included. People been, more people like after Burma opened it. So more people go to overseas living in abroad. So they started like educated from other country. But Shan people, eat the most healthy food.
Okay.
Interesting.
They eat, I would say Shan foods are more healthy.
Kendra, Burma is like the most interesting country because it was closed off from the rest of the
Yeah,
world for so
yeah,
long.
exactly.
Yeah.
And you know, so everything that's kind of coming in that we're learning right now is, you know, there's some pretty amazing stuff and an incredible history. And
Yeah.
you've had an incredible journey. Here, and I'm glad we've become friends over the last couple of
My
years.
story can make a book.
Yeah,
I should say.
Well, it's an incredible story, and your food is awesome. So, if you don't mind, I'm gonna dig in.
Oh, please.
Let's do it.
I do want to try this. I don't think I've had this yet. So
I'm
this is
so
beautiful.
excited, yeah. Shall I squeeze this lime?
Oh
over the
yeah,
top?
if you want
Yeah?
to, like just try with a little bit, and
Okay.
then after you, mix it up, you can add
Okay.
more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hard-boiled
stir it
egg
up.
makes
Stir it
everything
up.
better.
Got a nice.
You haven't tried this one, right?
I haven't had this dish.
Would
no.
you like to have like stir it up too? Would you like chili?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me
Spicy is
rub
always
it for
better.
you.
This is a really, really, really nice noodle.
Yeah.
So, my chopstick skills are not awesome, but
Yeah, this is gonna make you game change.
Oh, good.
oh man,
Yeah.
but that's delicious.
I want chili
without
on everything.
the
Yeah,
chili.
this is
'Cause it has a
not a
chili oil in
very
it.
very hot, so don't worry.
Uh-oh. Wish me luck. Boom.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
I'll make a big mess.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get it on my microphone.
Kendra, what do you think? What's going on over there in your mouth?
So many delicious things. I love the spicy. It's very kind of creamy, but there's no dairy, right?
No, it's
Yeah.
a dairy free. The only thing we cannot make dairy free are only two things: beef curry and chicken curry.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because it's already make it, in it, so we cannot avoid. So, yeah, only two things. But most of the dishes that we make, like I would say shan noodle, onokosue. In Burma, I don't think people provide with vegetarian option.
No.
Right.
So because
A lot of meat in Burma? People
yeah, we are meat eater.
Okay.
When
I'm
you're
gonna
switching?
keep my chopsticks, and I know Kendra's enjoying that noodle dish quite a bit. I want to grab some of this tea leaf salad. So this is the national dish of Burma, and we have fermented tea leaves
with a lot of crunchy beans, like flat beans, yellow lentil, peanut, and then sesame seeds, and a lot of.
Come on, man, this is so good.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Kendra,
So good. It's super comforting.
This is unbelievable.
Okay.
The textures of this, and then there's like, it's got like a little bit of vinegar and.
Okay.
Is there some spice in here?
Yeah, it has spices already because the fermented tea leaf has already,
What is
So-
this?
Oh,
Which
wow.
one?
Is this a bean?
Yeah, it's a flat
Yum.
flat
Flat
bean.
bean?
So this is the green leaf in this noodle dish.
Mm-hmm.
It's from that bean.
No way.
That plant's leaf.
I
I don't know what it is called. It's just like
so much umami with the fermented flavor. It just like adds all this texture and depth.
Yeah, I think
So
you're right
great.
on, Kendra, when you're talking
Yeah.
about like the need for more of that in our cuisine here in Colorado. Man,
And I feel like in the U.S. lately, the research is talking about the benefits of fermented foods
right?
for gut health, for all of these,
Yes.
kind of beneficial reasons that it's important to start including more fermented foods. So I think this would be a great way for people to start to figure that stuff out. People
Yeah.
aren't familiar. Sometimes it's hard to try something new.
Yeah.
I also think, people are familiar with noodles, and they are familiar with curries, and they are familiar with rice, and so you're familiar with a lot of the ingredients in Burmese food, but
Yeah.
you just may not. When you say Burmese food, you just may be like, okay, I'm going to go and get ramen instead because I don't really know
Oh, my
the
God.
difference. And I got to be honest with you. I mean, this is pretty spectacular stuff. So
Thank you.
I love it. So
I think a lot of people probably don't know where Burma is,
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah, I don't
the
blame them.
difference between Burma and other South Asian countries. I mean, this is going to be a lot for people. So by the time they get past that hurdle, they're not sure where to start from a cuisine perspective. So I think all of this food is super approachable.
Yeah, I agree.
This salad just tastes like the best salad I've ever had.
I
wish all coleslaw
I haven't
tasted
seen
like this.
that American who doesn't like the tea leaves.
You haven't met anybody?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've brought friends up here because they've craved tea leaf salad.
Is that soy that's giving the saltiness? Or what's
the the saltiness also, and the spices, and then like the other dish taste that you never. It's all come from the fermented tea leaf.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So cool, right?
And then the crunchy beans.
Yeah.
Give you
Everything is so good. Spice.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I need this every day.
Right? I think I would eat that every day, and I'm not kidding.
I definitely would.
There's very few things I can say that about that I could eat every day.
Yeah, that's great.
And tea leaf salad is one of them.
Is it hard to prepare?
No. Because it's no. This is we can make it quick. We use 2 different like sesame oil and then
I can taste the sesame.
Yeah.
Super nutty.
Oil,
Yeah.
And then
Yum.
onion, like fried onion oil.
Awesome. So Siri, what would you like people to know about Urban Burma, your food stall here at the Mango House?
Yeah, so if you would like to try new, authentic, like new ethnic, taste, I would recommend, like, if you like
Coming
Asian,
on down, what are your hours?
We open Tuesday to Saturday, 11 to 8 p.m.
Yep.
Lunch
and
and
I would
dinner.
just like
Nice.
everybody to know if they need a lunch date or a dinner date to Urban Burma, I am available for that at any time because this is one of my favorite places to eat in all of Colorado.
Wow.
Maybe right now anywhere in the country. I love it so much. So,
You know what? Another thing is we also going to start food trailers very soon.
I was going to say, what about
the food truck
catering
coming.
or food truck? That's
Yeah.
amazing. That'll
Yeah.
get you a lot more. You can bring it into the city and people
Yeah.
can try it, and then they'll come out here. Yeah.
And I do need to give a special shout out to Mark Antonesian from the Westward who recommended that I come out here a couple years ago, and Siri and I actually have become friends. We've actually hung out a fair amount, and he's been to my restaurants. And
He's my business mentor.
Yours and everyone else in the cities.
Yeah.
So just as it's exciting for me to be out here and be able to talk about your food and tell folks from the Modern Eater that follow the Modern Eater about what you're doing. And also, I've been telling Kendra, who's one of my best friends, and
Live in
about
Denver?
this.
I do,
She
yes.
does. And I've been telling her about this forever. She
True.
doesn't venture that far outside of
Nothing
downtown,
personal.
but something tells me she's going to come back here.
I will definitely be back. It was so
Thank
nice
you.
to meet you, and
Nice to
everything
meet
was
you.
delicious. Thank you.
All right,
Thank
brother.
you.
It's great to see you, man.
Great to see you too.
All
Thanks
right,
for the
man.
time. Oh.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, Urban Burma in the Mango House, and it's out in Aurora on the corner of Colfax and Galena out here, and this is where Juan eats.